And breakfast is served. Hello and welcome properly now to the finale of the Road to the OTS. Not OTS, the Road to Regional. Yeah, it's here. It's literally happening in the next 2 hours is when it's going to kick off. I am waiting to be picked up. It is currently 9 o'clock, a little bit after 9. I should be picked up within the next half hour to an hour. It depends on how bad traffic gets for Carl coming back from Mullingar, because he's gone to pick up 2 other players. So yeah, I'm showered. I've been up since 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm showered. I had my breakfast. And I'm ready to go. You know, a bag's been packed since last night. I did some play testing yesterday of, seeing how well I can play against hand traps. Re-sleeved the deck, and I am confident. I am. There's no point in me going in and saying, I'm going to go X3 drop, because I'm going in, I'm going to do as much as I can, as best as I can, and we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to have a fucking good day regardless at my very first regional. So, I hope you enjoy. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be filming any duels or not, but I'll be checking in with you throughout the day. Just walking to be picked up by the lads. Should be here in a few minutes. See how things go. I've just pre-regged and I'm just waiting now. I finally have an area to film. I have the tripod set up and it's just another half hour till go time. But hold on, let me flip it around. All right, just double checked on the deck. 43 cards, same with the 15 extra deck and the 15 side deck. I have a calculator because obviously I'm going to be using my phone. I have one of these and I brought a pen. I have dice and I have the jitter juice to get me going. Let's do this shit. Round 1 begins and I win the die roll and up to go first. And I did not open the best. So I start with Maiden to place True Light, and then I use True Light to set Wishes. Next I activate Wishes, pitching the second Maiden, adding Sage and Roar to hand. I normal summon Sage and try to activate its effect when my opponent drops Fua. I add Veiler to hand. From here I link into Spirit and add the Field Spell to hand, which I activate. I use the extra normal summon for Veiler, then I link into Spirit, then link both Spirits into Spheres. From here I activate Roar to special summon Blue Eyes from the deck, which brings back Maiden, and sink into Spirit, set to pass. My opponent draws for turn, and right away I learn what I'm up against, and it's fucking Memento. As he starts with Tatsu to special itself, since he controls no monster, then the other effect gets activated, and it tributes itself to dump 2. He sends Gatic and Sheepy to grave. From here he brings back Gatic, which triggers adding Sheepy back to hand, which Sheepy effect triggers to special summon itself since the monster was destroyed, which he attempts to use its fusion effect, which I chain Imperm, which he then chains Bone Party, destroying Sheepy to special summon Acheron, and then fuses into Creation King. Next he uses its effect, which I chain Spheres. My opponent then mills 3, and off his Spheres I special summon Magmont and use its effect. Next, Creation King gets banished to add the field spell to hand. My opponent then uses Talons to yoink, but I chain Spirit to tribute itself to special summon Ultimate Spirit, which is what gets yoinked. which was a misplay, as I should have done that earlier. On resolution, I tried to Majesty to pop Ultimate Spirit, but it gets negated. I never know how to interact or interrupt with Memento, as I don't see it all that often. My opponent and I make some plays, but eventually he takes down game 1. Game 2, I opt to go first. I start where Barrel, use its effect to set load, which I activate using its effect to add Drill Beam. From here, I link it to Spirit, which I use its effect to add the field spell to hand, which I then activate it. Next, I activate Wishes, pitching Roar, adding Maiden and Majesty to hand. I then use Maiden to place True Light. I use the field spell to dump Blue Eyes, which I then tribute Spirit to special summon Blue Eyes and Maiden, then sink into Spirit. Next, I do a bit of a scuff play as I use True Light to special summon Blue Eyes from Grave. Then I use Load's second effect by calling Blue Eyes White Dragon and special summon from deck. Next, I link them into Spheres and set to pass. My opponent draws for turn and starts by activating Lightning Storm to blow up my back row. Now, I made a massive misplay here, and it cost me the duel. In my head at the time, I was to, in the standby, use True Light to bring back Blue Eyes from Graveyard, which would have made Drill Beam live, which I could have used to protect my back row. However, later on in this duel, my opponent did use Droplet, so he would have chained it if I had. The next misplay I have is not using Spheres to bounce True Light back to my hand to protect my monsters, which I didn't know about until after this game. The next thing I forgot I could do is use Spirit to negate True Light's effect in Grave to protect my monsters. Those 3 misplays cost me this match, and my opponent will go on to steamroll me. Not a great start to the regional. Round 2 begins and I win the die roll and I opt to go first, and I opened so unplayable. 4 hand traps and the field spell. This would have also happened a few times in later duels, so I just pass and pray for the best. But it was a quick game 1 as my opponent, who is playing K9 Archmage, took it down since I had nothing I could do. Game 2, I opt to go first yet again, and I actually open playable. I go full combo, starting with Maiden, place True Light, then True Light sets Wishes, normal summon Sage, use its effect to add Veiler to hand. Next I use Wishes to pitch the Veiler and add to hand Roar and another Veiler. Next I link in the Spirit, use its effect to add the field spell to hand, which is then activated. Then I use its effect to send Blue Eyes to Grave, then Spirit tribute itself to special summon Blue Eyes. You know the deal at this point. So I end with Spheres, Spirit, and a set card and pass turn. My opponent draws for turn and starts with a case for K9, adding a K9 to hand. Next he activates the Archmage field spell. He uses its effect to discard a card and declares Graflair and adds it to hand. He then uses its effect to special summon from hand. He then uses its other effect to set a spell or trap from deck, setting Assault, which he then activates, adding Midius Pure from deck to hand. He then uses the Field spell to normal summon Midius and uses its effect to special summon Power Patron, which he uses that effect to fuse into Duratrius. Then Power Patron effect Engrave triggers to search. Next he activates Alteration to search a card since he already controls the Field spell. Next, Latria's effect in hand is used to special summon and adds Alteration back to the hand. He then uses the Field spell to call Power Patron to add it to hand. On resolution, I go for True Light effect to set, which he tries to change. He uses Graflair's effect to try to pop True Light, which I then chain Spheres to tribute itself to bounce True Light back to hand, which is when he uses Duratrius effect to negate Spheres, but I chain Imperm. Resolving the chain, I get to set Majesty from deck, and in a new chain of Spheres, I special summon Magma Hunt in defense and activate its effect. My opponent and I would continue to make plays, including some illegal activation of Canine cards, but that didn't matter as he ended up taking it down, meaning I'm currently X2 heading into round 3. Round 3 I lost the die roll and a mate goes second, and once again I am facing Memento. Great! Also I just opened 5 hand traps, so that's fucking fun too. So I basically just hand trap my opponent to death that he just passes turn, and I get so lucky that I top deck Maiden, which lets me pop off and I end up taking down game 1. However, in game 2, my opponent goes first and has all the answers to my cards and takes down game 2 pretty quickly. However, moving into game 3, I opt to go first. I start with Maiden to place True Light, then I normal summon Beryl, use its effect to set load, which I activate and grab Drill Beam. From here, I link into Spirit and use its effect to add the Feel spell, which I then activate using its effect to target Spirit and dump Blue Eyes to grave. Next, I use Spirit's effect to tribute itself to special summon Blue Eyes and then Maiden. I then use True Light to set Wishes and attempt to activate it, but get hit with an Ash, so I sink into Spirit and use Load's other effect to special summon Blue Eyes from deck, set 1 and pass turn. My opponent draws for turn and activates Radiant Typhoon Vision to draw 2 and discard a quick play spell, which I Ash. Still in draw phase, he activates Bone Party to destroy a memento in hand to add 1 to hand, which I then chain True Light to set Majesty. In main phase 1, he normal summons Anguish and uses its effect to search, which on resolution, I drop the Droll and Cockbird on him. Next, he special summons Tatsu and attempts to use its effect, but I chain Drill Beam to negate and banish, which he then, as Chainlink 3, activates Fusion to make Creation King, which uses its effect to send 3 to the graveyard. Next, he activates the effect Engrave, which I chain Spirit to negate, which he would chain Creation King to pop True Light, and it's here that I believe I misplayed hard, as with the pop of True Light and me already using Spirit's effect to negate a grave effect, I can't stop it. I would try to claw my way back, and I almost did, but eventually I ran out of steam and my opponent got the upper hand and took it down. I really fucking hate Memento. So for round 4, I got paired up with someone from Reroll, because initially I was actually paired up against somebody different, but then there was a repairing and he got down paired because at this point I have lost 3 of the rounds. So yeah, it happens, but yeah. Starting off, I lose the die roll and he goes first and he bricked. So it was a very quick game 1 as I just went for it, and because of his brick he scooped pretty quickly. However, for game 2, he managed to play through the only interruption that I had, which was Nibiru, and he managed to take it down. And then for game 3, I didn't open the best, and if I had like maybe 1 or 2 more interruptions, I probably could have taken it down because I had Dark Ruler in my hand. So if I had lived a turn, I could have taken it down, but unfortunately, it just didn't go my way. So going into round 5 now, 0-4. Not the best for my first regional, but we'll see how things progress for the rest of the day. Okay, so here we are, round five, paired up against another reroll boy, Connor, this time. And I lost the die roll, and I'm forced to go second. So get the feeling that I know what Connor is on. When, well, I know right away once he plays a Dragon Maid card and he attempts to activate its effect, which I drop an Impermon, and he just passes back to me. So I know he's on Dragon Maid Draco Tail. So I draw for turn, and I go full combo, and I take down game one instantly. And so then we go to side, and he goes first again, and apparently he bricked really, really hard. So all he could do is T-set pass. And so then as I said, he passes it back to me. I draw for turn. I start doing my combo. I didn't really open too well, but it's still enough again to actually play this thing out. And throughout my entire combo, because I had my next opponent actually deciding to seek out the buy, Jimin, and he's saying like he better, Connor better not draw the Nibiru for turn. And so I get rid of his set card, which was a hand trap. I poke him for 25, and I say pass. He goes to draw for turn. Instead of looking at it himself, he shows it to Jamie. Jamie sees what it is, gets up, and walks off. And Connor just knows instantly what it is, and I get this beautiful reaction. So I hope you enjoy the reaction.
I feel like they did not think that was wrong. They let you do that backwards.
I'll set one. I will then proceed to the battle phase, where I will attack over your set. Poke you for 2/5.
Chief Pierce.
Does not do piercing.
It's kind of the only thing it doesn't do.
Yeah. And then I will pass.
Fuck off!
You called it at all! So round 6 was as I expected it to be, was against Jimin. Jamie, simply because we both had the same record since he actually got the bye the last round, which at this point was 1 win and 4 losses each. So I knew he was on Labyrinth, and I took it down pretty quickly. He said himself that he just wasn't doing that great with it. Like his only win yesterday, as of recording this audio, was the bye. So he did a few things. I steamrolled him, took down game 1. Then he went first again, game 2. He did very little. Still some things he did to kind of counteract me, but in the end, I just still had enough on board to instantly take it down. Meaning, going into the final round, I am 2 wins and 4 losses. Not where I wanted to be for my first regional, but I will discuss that now in a second, so enjoy the rest of the duel footage. Okay, so got paired up against somebody new for the last round. Did not get a chance to film it because by the time I had all 6 previous duels recorded, this phone was nearly out of space. So I would have been able to record a max of 2 minutes. Which is probably how long that duel actually lasted for. Because by the time the 7th and final round came about, I was exhausted. And so I basically threw that last round. So the person I was going up against, he was on Yomimitsu. Same record as me going into the last round of 2-4. So literally game 1, I just didn't really open the greatest. Game 2, I definitely probably threw a lot of lines. Game 1, game 2, I literally could have won had I activated the Dark Ruler that was in my hand instead of just going to normal summon Barrel. If I'd done Dark Ruler first, then Barrel, I'd have been fine. Like, obviously, I couldn't have killed him, but I would have, gotten a decent enough board that would have held off on a lot of the stuff that he had. And so I just basically threw it and gave it to him within like 10, 15 minutes of the round starting. So I ended up finishing 56th with a 2-5 record. Had a great time regardless. Definitely will do one of these again in the near future. So we'll just have to see how if there is going to be one next year. I say there will be one next year for sure with how successful this was. We had 73 players. And despite my record, I still had a lot of fun. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the very next upload.